Golly, the longer I sat here, I thought, you moved away and that.
We did that here before.
Just kept moving. Okay, just left the hurt.
Unfortunately.
Well, he's good. He's good. And I was just thinking, oh, it's also for I feel like I crossed a quick path with him, I don't know, a few months ago, but.
Last time I seen him for the spring that market in downtown.
That was, I think, where sorry, real quick. Yeah, it's real quick. Oh my goodness. So how are y'all? Making it?
Yes, we can.
Guys, I just put that together. I said, you know, that's yeah, but it's been a long time. Yeah. So, he's got a baby. He's got a baby. 1, 2. Oh. Well, congratulations on all that. For these horses, or they just, he's a calm. Well, welcome. It's not even Friday. Yeah, you had a good Friday? Did you have a good Friday?
I had a good Friday. I'm ready for another one tomorrow.
Yeah. Mercy, we're coming out here. You're gonna know that Friday. Oh, that clock's behind me. We're good, Okay, all right, here we go. I will call to order the Town of Unicoi Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for Monday, August 21st. Thank you all, everyone, for being here. We will start with an invocation. We have I think Lance might have been here with us once before. Reverend Lance Handy from the Unicoi Christian Church is going to provide our invocation, and then we'll follow that with the pledge.
Absolutely. Any special prayer requests?
Oh, I've got a couple things to throw out.
Yeah, please.
Are you okay? Our alderman here lost a sibling last week, so there's still some grief and recovery there. And one of our planning commission members' wife has had some difficulty after surgery, and it's just didn't quite get healed up well enough to come home right away. So. But
Susan.
She's
What's her name?
Pardon me.
What's her name?
Susan.
Susan.
And this is Kevin.
And my brother's name is TK. That's the way.
Yes, I do, yeah. My daughter, Angie Moore,
Yeah.
she's having a tremendous time post-COVID.
Hmm.
So she's had a long recovery, rehabilitation ahead of her. So,
Yeah. Let's bow our heads in a word of prayer. God, we come before you this evening thankful for the chance to gather. We want to offer up to you the things that are heavy on our hearts this evening. We pray for Kevin and his family as they grieve over the loss of PK. Lord, we ask that you would be with them, comfort them in the midst of this. God, we pray for Susan. She recovers from this surgery. You would watch over her healing process. You would give her a speedy recovery. And we pray as well for Andrew, that she continues to recover after COVID. We just pray for her rehabilitation process. Lord, that you would be with her every step of the way, that you would give her healing. God, we lift these folks to you. We pray for so many more that we know that are unspoken this evening, that are hurting. And even with that in mind, God, we thank you for the many ways in which you've blessed us. God, I thank you for each person that is here represented in this room, and I ask that you would be with them. Be with our community and our elected leaders as they make decisions this evening. God, give us wisdom, give us your strength, and we pray for our community. That you would watch over us and protect us. That you would be with those less fortunate among us. And God, we pray for your kingdom come and your will to be done here on earth as it is in heaven. We pray this all in the name of your son Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, let's all sing for the pledge. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. All right. Once again, if there is a citizen in the audience who would like to speak, that is not already attached to an agenda item, if you would like to grab a paper with your name and address on it, we'll be glad to call you out and have you, allow you the opportunity to speak. So those are there. All right, roll call.
Alderman Lemon.
Here.
Alderman McIntyre.
Here.
Alderman Radford. Here. Vice Mayor Figler.
Here.
Mayor Rowland.
Here. All right, next on the agenda, Alderman, is approval of the July 17 BMA minutes that are in the packet.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval of the July 17 BMA minutes. Is there any discussion or questions regarding those minutes? All right, hearing none, let's vote.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre.
Yes.
Alderman Radford. Yes. Vice Mayor Figler.
Yes.
Mayor Rowland.
Yes. All right, thank you. Now, this is a unique honor, Mr. Wilson. Would you come up forward? I guess kind of by looking at me, you could probably tell that I have no connection or any relate to this.
Okay.
But he was featured in Johnson City Press last week. Last week?
Yeah.
Front
I
page,
remember.
I think, anyway.
Yeah, I made the front page above the phone.
Above the fold. He has completed 500 hikes up Pinnacle Trail. And that's, the whole trail all the way, 500. You take others with you?
Yeah,
You know,
sometimes
your
I do,
mentors,
sometimes a lot of times it's by myself. Yeah,
but you've done a lot to mentor the hiking community. Yeah.
well, sometimes they mentor me.
Well, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good exchange.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Okay, well, next time up, will be 504.
Oh, gosh, there's been more since then.
Yeah.
Good, like, you must go like every other day.
No, I can go once or twice or 3 times a week when I'm in the area. Part of the time I'm down at another place where my daughter and grandkids are at, so part of the time I'm down there, part of the time I'm up here.
Well, I'm glad it's here. Glad you've enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Steve, how many miles would that be?
It's 5,000. It's approximately, by the time you walk out of the parking lot, if the official trail itself is like 4.9 one way, 4.9 down, 9.8. By the time you walk out of the parking lot, we just say 10 miles. So 500 times 10 is 5,000.
What was the date you started doing that, your first?
I started counting them back probably, I think 2015. So I was working full time back then. The only time I hockey was, on weekends or holidays. And part of the time I was gone, so, those years I didn't get but maybe 30 or 40 hikes a year. So once I retired, I go a little bit more. That's where I'm at now.
Lots of that's good.
So just keep walking.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us and letting us share that with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I can't do it once. All right. Any other citizen comments that you received prior to today or anything today? Nope. Okay. Then we are going to go to citizen comments, where requests had come in previously to be put on the agenda, and that would be David Boone, 104 Shepherd's Branch Court. If you wouldn't mind to come up to the podium, and you are going to be addressing the board, but the audience obviously will be listening as well. But well,
I'll be as brief as I can, unlimited mayor,
he has unlimited, yes, he's on the agenda.
fellow distinguished board members. There seems to be some controversy over the land that is purchased by my wife and I. Not only the land, but the dwelling that we have placed on it. We came up there one day right after it was placed and found this taped to our brand new doors. It is a list of restrictions that is supposed to be on that property. Point number 8 definitely states that the covenants herein contained are enforceable by the undersigned, those successors of the any resident or owner of the property in Marbleton Ridge subdivision. Across the top of this is written in pencil, ink, whatever Shepherd's Branch states. It's quite obvious that these have been modified to try to do something with this subdivision. We have placed a manufactured home on that property that we bought. He also states that there'll be no trailers, no modular homes. It is neither. It's a manufactured home, which means that it is built in a controlled climate to about 2/3 completion. Yes, it is brought there on axles and a pulley. Those are removed and it is placed on footers. It will be underpinned. We'll make it just as pretty as we can make it. I don't see that it's going to deter the property value of anything around where it's at. I mean, we took an empty lot, we put a $250,000 home on it. I hardly believe that that's going to make anybody's property value go down. I guess my main concern here tonight is that, first of all, I want to apologize to your workers in the courthouse. They have been inundated with statements from one particular gentleman. I have since spoke with law enforcement about this deal, and our property is being monitored constantly. And if it shows up again, harassing any of the workers who are getting on my property, they'll be charged for trespassing. I don't want to be this way. All we want to do is just move in our new home and become from the citizens union. That's all we're here for. We're not there. I will make one statement that will probably bring a chuckle, but the title company that did the title on this property, and they don't give them out if there's anything wrong, actually said that the plot of land that we have, while it can be assessed through the subdivision, okay, is not a part of that subdivision. It's a separate piece of property. So any restrictions that he is granted would not pertain to us. This has been researched and checked and looked at by his attorney. He was the closer on the land. The title company, as far as I know, took back in 1991. There are no restrictions on this property. We have researched it. Your people in the court, in the town hall down there have researched it. They could find nothing. So we're going to proceed as planned if it's all right with everyone. We're going to hopefully get Clayton up there to finish up. We're going to move in and we're going to make it as nice a home as we can. Anyone else that has, got any problems with it, stuff like that, if they want to discuss it with me, I'll be happy to. If you want to go by and see it, it's below 4 Shepherd's Branch Court. The only reason it is not a Marbleton Road address, I asked 911, but I asked for an address to give me something where I wouldn't have to walk down to the road to get the mail and walk back. Well, I've had a heart condition and I have 10 heart attacks and a stroke cars walk up the hill. I used to go up that trail too, I don't know more. So with that in mind, if you have any questions, I have the paperwork here showing where the research was done. I have the title commitment that you're up to review. Anything that you see that you think that needs to be questioned about this property, be more than happy to answer it. Otherwise, my wife and I are going to go somewhere else and let you all get on with business. And I apologize that you all have to hear this. And again, I apologize to your workers. I know that they're happy for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Anything else?
We will let you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
I know that. No, we're good. We're good. Thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Seeing that there are no other citizens for discussion, there's no old business, no unfinished business. We have new business tonight. Resolution 2023-352, resolution of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the Town of Unicoi expressing official intent that the Town of Unicoi funds can be transferred from the Bank of Tennessee and will be transferred to a Mountain Commerce Bank account. Now, the ordinance, I thought, left it open, but we are moving money from Bank of Tennessee to Mountain Commerce because the interest rates are better. We get a better return, correct? Okay. You have that in your packet.
This resolution allows also to either be put in a CD or a local government investment pool, however we want to.
Wherever we can get the best return.
LGIP right now is paying 5.19, and Mount Commerce Bank for CD rate is 5.380.
Okay.
With the local government investment pool, that can be taken out at any time, but the interest rate will fluctuate with the market. So,
Okay.
we have one CD right now at Mountain Commerce Bank that's drawing 4.05, and it matures December 20th.
So it gives freedom to search out,
Right.
shop for.
I make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Cook. Second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions or discussion? All right, hearing none, let's call for vote, please.
Alderman Lemon?
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre?
Yes.
Alderman Radford?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper?
Yes.
Mayor Bullock?
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda, interlocal agreement, cooperation agreement, between First Judicial District Drug Task Force, State of Tennessee with Washington, Carter, Johnson, and Unicoi counties. That is included in your packet. I think we have always been associated with this drug task force, so this is a re-up. Anything new or different that you would like to share?
I think the task force, they're up to like 16 agents right now, so anytime we have a major drug case, conspiracy, going to other counties and stuff, we can get the assistance of other officers coming in. Sheriff Hensley, Chief Hilton, all of them have pictures signed, or we're so short-handed, we have not got anyone signed. I do so with board of directors with them. Anytime there is a big seizure here in Unicoi, we would be able to get the money. It's a great thing. I've been working with their task force for many years. So we have you guys who will do that contract.
We'd like to give it some consideration. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions?
How much does this cost us annually?
$2,000.
How much?
$2,000.
$2,000.
The next question, and I meant to look at that when I get a chance. Did we budget this already? Did anybody remember?
It's probably ongoing in your budget, because we paid this before to have it, keep going. I have to look back in
I
detail,
don't
but,
remember.
I don't think we specifically budgeted for that in a line item by itself.
in a line item by
It might
itself.
be, it might be included in another line item.
Yeah, this isn't a new item. I mean, I know we've done it
I
before.
did it last year.
Yeah. I think it's on
It was the 2,000.
So you think it's cheap, this is where we need to go?
Yes, I mean, like I said, Sheriff Hensley, Chief Tilson, all the local agencies and stuff are involved. It does give us more manpower. I mean, we can call them up, say, hey, we need 3 guys over here, they're gonna send guys to us. Todd, I think he's been part of it, other hours undercover, I work a lot of time. I think it's a great deal to have all the people together. You've got guys assigned to DEA, ATF. I mean, there's so many connections there to allow more personnel and stuff into the town.
Okay, I was looking at this price here and I was confused about how much it was costing.
Most of it, the 2,000 is the very minimum because it goes by population,
Right.
and so we actually paid the very lowest price.
We started it with Andy. We started this with Andy.
Yeah, we've been doing this. And this is part of what ensures, should there be can't think of a good word, if we have a vehicle or there's cash, that cash that vehicle sees actually comes to the town of Unicoi, not the county, not her. And We've had a few cash seizures.
Whoever the agent is, like myself, where I'm actually with our own board of directors, I can do a drug task force case. So if I do that case, more of the money is going to come to the town of Unicoi versus it being split up much with County, Irwin, Johnson City, and all the different ones tied together. There is a split, so even if we don't do any drug task force cases here, the stuff that happens around us, we can get money back.
So that 2,000, we should be able to recoup within a year, to recoup that 2,000, either property or cash. All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, Ms. Kester, call for vote, please.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance 2023-316, first reading and consideration of ordinance 2023-317. 316, typo, an ordinance of the town of Unicoi, Tennessee to adopt changes to Title I, Chapter 2 of our municipal code regarding public comment at board meetings. Our city attorney has been very active with municipal judge associations and in-services and conferences, and has brought to our attention that there has been a change. And so he has prepared an ordinance for us. The primary change is that citizens, where we have been allowing 2 minutes, they actually can have 3 minutes now, according to state guidance.
Well, that's a recommendation, and at the Tennessee Municipal Attorneys Association seminar, they recommended there be an ordinance. That way, if somebody got up there and just wouldn't quit talking, that be some enforcement where you cut them off and say, you know, your time's up, and be escorted out if you have to, you know, so. And Pope Chapter 300 was brought up, there was some concerns of how to regulate that, and that was the recommendation was, first thing to do is pass an ordinance that says there's a time limit, who keeps the time, stuff like that.
And vice mayor keeps the time.
And this would apply to the planning
And
commission.
if we go to planning, it becomes one.
So it says the vice mayor or other designee, so the planning commission can designate their timekeeper, or zoning appeals can designate their timekeeper, and that way everybody's.
You're basically saying it has to be designated time.
Yeah, and recommendations.
So it says not to exceed more than 3
And
minutes,
they're
not
not
to exceed 3
limited.
minutes, so it doesn't mean that you could say you want 2 minutes, but you just don't exceed the 3.
Right, and you can even go so far, and in the past, we've not had that, problem, but they just even put like no more than 20 minutes for the whole session. You know, we've never had that many comments, it's for bigger cities that would have 100 people show up, you know, and they wouldn't want to limit, 20 minutes for the whole thing, whether or not they're midnight listening to citizen comment. I didn't put that provision in hours, but I didn't see a need for an overall time.
Okay, all right. Is there a motion, a second for this ordinance? On the motion, second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further questions or comments, concerns? Not hearing none, Ms. Kester, let's vote, please.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford, Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda is an agreement with Sullivan Inspection Services, a contract. Sullivan does inspections for certain things that are beyond the scope of white, like CP HVAC, or he has a few things he does at a bigger scale.
He
So
fills in for him too when he's
we
out.
contract with him as a backup. So the contract is in your packet. This is an ongoing contract we have had that we renew with him periodically. This is not new to the town, but I would ask there be a motion or a second.
So moved.
Motion, second.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any questions or further conversation?
On this, for $75 per inspection plus $100. Is that, what does that make? Is that $175?
100 for travel.
So it's $175 per inspection. Okay, now, if I were building a building, and I've heard this so much from people, you know, about the inspections and the amount of money. If I was building a building, what do you expect to spend on inspections?
If you're building a house, it could be between $800 and $900, depending on how many times he has to come out. And that's, he charges, the property owner pays, and then we pay him.
Okay, so the property owner pays the town, and the town pays him the same amount.
Exactly. We don't make any money off that.
Okay, now, is this the same rate that it's always been?
It hasn't changed.
He charges the exact same thing as July.
Yeah, and I've just heard it so many times from people, you know, about what it costs, and so now I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if they don't do something right, then he has them fix it.
So it's $175 per visit.
Yeah, the rate schedule is on the building permit. So he marks it as to how many times he, feels like he's gonna have to come out.
And a person could pay those up front.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, over the
you'll
course
mark
of-
it, and then, that's what the people will come in and pay.
Okay, any further conversation or questions, concerns about Mr. Sullivan's contract? Okay, hearing none. Call for the vote, please.
Alderman Levin,
Yes.
Alderman McIntyre,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor Moore.
Yes. Okay, reports of officers and committees, economic development, Mr. Finch.
Good to see everyone again. All right, so I'll make this quick. There's a lot of updates. That was the Economic Development Board meeting. I know that it was a little long-winded, but a lot going on. Working on some solid deliverables. So last year we did a strategic plan that kind of laid out what we should do for the community, clear objectives, what we need to accomplish. We essentially got all of those done except for a couple, and that was because we lacked buy-in from either the government or other organization to continue those with us. So everything we were in charge with, we accomplished. Looking to do strategic planning again later this year, kind of set those same objectives out on what we'd like to do. Again, you are more than welcome to join those discussions too. Open meetings, love your feedback and contribute to what you think we can knock out. So you can only know who we hear from. As far as development of our development team, most of which been accomplished. We got my master's done, the leadership and public service program. I was talking about it last time. I think we'll give the presentation, but now that's done. And now we have others going in, including Kathy Bullen is signed up. And it's a great program. It's very helpful, a lot of hard skills that are just excellent for helping these small communities, especially. If anybody else is interested in doing that, please let me know. We can recommend you, and there is a scholarship provided by the AIRS Foundation. I'm going to do next the TBA Rural Leadership School, and then a few other conferences that are coming up to kind of help get more proficient in this role. So the intern, the real success over the summer, I'm thinking based off the quality of candidates we're looking at, we may change it to something like a fellowship program because they're master's level graduates and such who are interested in helping out. So kind of, basically the title that more fits their standing. And I'm thinking the next one after Adam phases out should be more community projects oriented. And we should probably get feedback from the employee as to like community projects when that person's in place. Should be thinking. Then next up, we're doing, and have budgeted a marketing assistance grant. And this is countywide to help businesses that are existing or new get off the ground and be able to advertise themselves, or do things like signage or whatever really increases their presence, hopefully helps their sales out. So kind of direct incentives. We have 5 of those budgeted for the fiscal year. And once I get the final draft of this done, a few more changes to make after last comments, we're sending that out. And
Is it 2,000 or 1,000?
$2,500.
$2,500.
Yeah, basically ribbon cutting, storefront refurbishment, signage, direct social media advertising, or other retail promotion programs that you need to submit and get permission on, make sure you kind of fit what we're looking for. But basically a way to directly help businesses. And this kind of fits into a bigger, incentive packages we're working on too, as countywide, including our industrial pilot program. We get tax abated if you open new industries here. That was approved a few years back. And then, kind of Irving has a couple grants going. Their facade grant for building beautification, and they also have a hood grant we worked with them to get approved. So now, and with this and some others, you can basically have, and with Mountain Home Extension too, let's not forget, Newport County's a good place to start a business and get off your feet.
And we have facade grant. We haven't done real well getting out there, but
Yeah,
it's
well,
not only like $500, but.
let's see, yeah, let's, make sure let's send it over so I can have that in the booklet too.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right, Laura, did you guys see, Henry wants a copy of that, so we will include it.
Yeah, that'll help. So that's great. I was gonna actually ask if y'all had anything like that.
Sorry.
Very good. Anyway, so then on to Anthill, the technology company we were working with, sent out letters. Small business owners should have gotten them. Basically, 10 high-level questions about doing business in Newport County, kind of test this program, see how it works, and give us some answers we need, kind of guide government too. Deadline for that is September 1st. Then as far as industry goes, that Project Powder I mentioned last time, 35 to 60 jobs, looking at the IMC building, actually did come to visit. That happened a couple weeks ago. We really like the community, got to go get dinner with them, know them a little bit. They're interested, but they have to go home, talk to their decision makers and see if they'd be interested in Tennessee as a location. It's really more of a battle of states right now, not so much individual locations within the states. So we'll see how that plays out. Then Tsubaki Nakashima reached out to me last week. They are looking to expand, possibly. And there are 20 jobs, could be around $65,000 total a year, so very good jobs. And basically what we're hoping is we can maintain this relationship with them and then grow here because they are a very global company, and the possibility of them just outright leaving is also fairly high, has been high in the past. So if they ever do move operations under one roof, we want that roof to be in Newport County. So we got to stay all over them, make sure that they're going to get all the incentives they need. Meeting coming up later in about 4 weeks or so when one of our top guys gets back to Italy to talk with the state and TVA about making sure they have all the incentives they need. So that's all good news for now, but we're planning for the future, making sure we're staying in the right places there too. Couple more, sorry. We're improving the Real Wild website. The itineraries are complete and launch in the next couple weeks. Next, we're going to work on hiking trails and maps. We'll be able to access everything we have, including hikes and features in any way. Then we successfully launched some WJHL commercials advertising businesses in the county. We reached about 80% of our 247,000 person audience. So 196,000 people saw advertisements about Newport County at least once. 45% saw it at least 3 times. So pretty effective use of resources there and trying to drive people to support small businesses because, generally small businesses have a harder time staying afloat. And I think it should be our priority to help them be successful. Pool resources and advertise collectively too. And last thing, CSX building. It's really hard to get a transfer property from railroad. But we finally have a title search company that is on it, and once that's complete, then I can get an Alta survey. Once the Alta survey done, then I get the deed we need, and then we're off to the races, getting that general office building in downtown Irving turned over to us, and then on to a developer to fix that property and add it back to tax roll. So
And hopefully it's a hotel.
hopefully a hotel, whatever makes sense, financially and stuff there too. I'm also working on that hotel study. countywide study to make sure that a hotel is even feasible in our market. And they're gonna review different pieces of data, Airbnb, occupancy rate, along with current hotels, and and how much business is lost to places like Johnson City, and see if we can support a new nicer hotel. And so once that is out, we'll have a better idea of really what we can expect. If not, Logan can pivot to something more, we can partner with universities as well as office space and program centers and all kinds of different things. But in any case, we got a good partner in place to help us get that building refurbished and too. Last thing, next meeting, Wednesday, October 25th. Everybody is welcome to join. Anything you'd like to get feedback. Last time I had an interesting, that was nice. I see new faces and kind of inform everybody what we're doing. Trying to stay very focused on deliverables and actual products.
Also, I did still some meetings that we were working on golf course ideas that.
Yeah, we are working on it. I'm just trying to be as discreet as possible because you never know what you're gonna. We're working. We're working. We are dedicated and working. A lot of behind the scenes things happen too that it's hard to always explain when you don't have something ready to go. But you can say too much and hurt yourself in the long run. But generally, we are looking at kind of usually making sure that investment comes here, you all get a return on your investment. That's awesome.
All right,
Any
thank
questions?
you.
Yeah, so you mentioned hotels. If you're gonna get one, they need to be a name brand hotel, not just a hotel.
So for which reason?
A name brand, like a Hilton or whatever.
So Hilton's,
I'm just pulling that out.
yeah, we are better off with a boutique hotel. We're more likely to get a boutique hotel is the issue. So I'm not disagreeing, I would love that, but we're more likely to get one that is a private company who is opening one and it being a unique niche market. You're more likely to get one of those to follow through. Hilton's, if I call them, they'll say things like, oh, I love the Northeast Tennessee market, it's really growing, people are coming in, and I would love to move to Johnson City. But Unicoi and Irwin have a unique appeal and not enough land to open.
That's it, the worst thing is if you get people come in to their county, they're gonna go to Johnson City to say if you don't have a good name brand hotel.
So I would say, I agree, generally, that is changing somewhat. And one thing we want to do before developing any hotel is develop contracts ahead of time with the industries we have in county that would go to a boutique hotel with a special group or like a organization rate, and that might be able to bridge that gap. Because right now it's Rocky, and then they do sell them all in Carnegie. And if that's anybody else in there, the Carnegie itself, at last I checked, it's not owned by Hilton. Carnegie's independently owned. So it's high quality independently owned, but it is private. So hopefully we can fall into that success. We don't want, we're not gonna name names, but there are certain, brands or private entities that don't. There's some that don't really. Days Inn, no corporation is gonna go to Days Inn before they would go to a boutique in certain cases. On my last job, I booked hotels all the time. And I booked boutique downtown Seattle, LA, before I even booked chains.
But the other thing, if y'all done a study on what our available workforce is in the county and what their schooling is and what can they offer to the company?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that's under the state level. So we have average wage, we have income, or average wage is income. We have those all stratified. We also have age, education. We have essentially all that workforce.
So we have available skilled workforce available if the company came in.
I would say, yeah, we are still lagging behind. So it's up to your interpretation of skill, and I do believe in our county schools. I think we have a harder working population than any other places out there.
But it would depend on the specific skill, the specific industry needed.
It would, and we also want to train up our high school students to be able to fulfill those programs also. But we are still, we're the furthest behind when it comes to bringing our unemployment rate down. We have one of the highest unemployment rates in the region, and we maintain our distressed status because of that. So the way I understand it is if you are going to receive benefits, saying you're looking for a job, do not have one close enough to home, that would mean so available workers for those jobs. So It actually was a benefit. One of the visits we had back in May, they called out our higher unemployment rate is actually a benefit to this county over others. Because when you get down to that 2% range, 2.5% unemployment, it's essentially just your typical turnover. It's no longer considered really, it's a sustainable environment.
Well, and our high school vocational programs are expanding. They are actively expanding.
Yes.
There's HVAC going to be down there starting in January.
Mhm.
And it's going to be a part, two class periods a day. So other class periods could be something else theoretically. I mean, I think the school system has gone in as well, understanding that we've got to develop a more broad workforce.
Anything would
So,
be more apt to get industries that are interested in things like apprenticeships and working with high school level graduates also. And with the technical programs available for free too, it's also really helpful. Recruiting at a state level. So the high school's been really open to starting a new program at any new industry. So I'm also thinking about applying that same logic to people like Sabaki. Most of economic development is just growing the ones you have anyway. And we make sure that Sabaki is loaded with candidates. So if they do merge Mountain City, plant up there in Irving, then it doesn't go to Mountain City, it goes to Irving or Johnson City or anywhere else. So just things to consider. But I know what you mean about name brand, but I think there's a way to hotel still get the right kind of participation with people who actually vote. We'll see.
thank you.
Well, no problem. Hate to run again, but I have to go see a contract.
Nice time, you've been there. All right, Miss Lisa Willis, Buffalo Valley Resort Association. Oh, which, by the way, we did email out, well, also, sorry, listen, whatever, more on that. Go ahead. You're fine, go.
We're gonna be adding something in October. It's gonna be like it's for Halloween, because we've had requests for stuff. And, something for the kids to do, and it's to educate them about the Appalachian, folklore. So we have stories about, like a storytelling and maybe a ghost thing, and have a week. Because a lot of kids don't know what segment that the dead is, and all this stuff that used to happen years ago, and things that happened. And one of the stories that I've pulled is going to be from around here that's happened, and that has been told. And so I thought that would be good for that. And then we're going to have our Heritage Day in October. And the bell ringing that's coming up in September the 24th, it's on Sunday from 2 to 4. That is to celebrate our Constitution and to enlighten people of what's in our Constitution that don't know. And so anybody that can come out to the tavern. We'll be having a bell ringing, we'll be ringing the bell. And we'll have Susan Cook who's going to be there. And I don't know who else that Jen has got coming, so we will be having a lot of things coming up in the next little while.
Thank you. Where are they on the roof?
Yeah, it's nice.
I've heard that they're supposed to start working on the roof this week.
Probably not.
We're starting in the morning, 7 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah, that's this week.
That's right.
They're starting
That was a
Friday.
grapevine, I heard.
They're starting Friday. They're starting Friday tomorrow. And they're gonna finish on Friday. Yeah, okay. Good job. Okay, all right. Good deal. Planning Commission and PTA. Ms. Swaper.
The County Uniform Planning Commission met on August 7th, 2023. Under new business was a site plan review for truck parking located at 102 Uniform Village Place, Uniform, Tennessee for Black Diamond. The parking lot will be owned for truckers to park, to go in and purchase food and drinks. Overnight parking will not be allowed. It will either be a concrete or an asphalt parking lot. It was approved unanimously by the board with an agreement with Black Diamond that a floodplain is to be added to the site plan. And then under the County Uniform Board of Zoning Appeals met also on Monday, August 7th, 2023. Under new business was a variance request for carport submitted by Michael Mendelson for property located at 125 Mountain Law Road, Unicoi. The variance request was voted unanimously to approve due to property having a steep grade toward the back. And then also under new business was a temporary use permit application submitted by Jeremy Shea for property located at 2384 Marbleton Road. Mr. Shea did not have a complete application, and it was voted unanimously to table the request until next month's meeting.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Mountain Harvest Kitchen, Laura Rogers.
Mountain Harvest Kitchen was running for 97.5 hours to 5 processing members during the month of July. You can see the breakdown of hours running versus the hourly booking rate and storage revenue. So that total is $2,255. You can see that that is a deficit from last year, but the hours were lower. So that explains that. We will be getting the bottle filler machine recalibrated and put back in service. That will be covered by our Tennessee Economic Community and Development Grant. So that would cover that cost. We also had a new member join for Free Grain Bakery. And another thing to add is that Helen with Comfort Foods, that is the Royal Red Stew, she was able to get a contract with Food City and is filling an order for them. So that's a big success for her. Feels like that's something that she should.
Yeah, she's Comfort Foods up there. She passes those out.
Yes, you'll see in next month's report for August that she has used it for almost 40 hours again. So she's been using it quite often, and that is, she currently has the basic package, so that's, I believe it's 20 hours, for a month that she got prepaid for, but she pays overage fees for going over that. So she charged by the hour on that. So that's extra revenue for us, but also great for her because she'll be getting that revenue from filling that order with Food City.
Mhm. So that's really, she's worked really hard.
How much is it gonna cost us to get that bottle set back up and calibrated?
It's right under 4,000. I don't have the invoice with me, but it's like 3,700. I can email it to you.
No, that's fine. That's for one person using it, right?
Yes, but it will also attract other users to, if they are bottling, to use that, and it will help attract new users in the future.
And reselling it, we never would have gotten.
Yeah.
Probably better in the long run.
There will be a fee charged for usage of it. That hasn't been set just yet, but
We're gonna add on a surcharge.
yeah.
For the long run.
If a different person uses it in a different bottle, it have to be recalibrated.
Not to my knowledge. That will be, in the training that the technician will come. He comes and recalibrates it. And it should be able to be set based on the different type of bottle, without having a technician come and recalibrate it. That'll be a part of the training that he'll show me how to do that. And then if the time comes, I would show the client how to adjust that.
And we won't take it down again, right?
Correct.
Right, thank you.
Not going anywhere.
As long as I'm charged. I ain't going anywhere else.
All right. Anything else, sir? Y'all have this may not be number one schedule, but y'all have a really successful food truck route.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Okay, we can talk about that next. Okay, go next.
So we did have a food truck rally, I guess it's been almost 2 years now. And it was a huge success. We had a great turnout. We were able to donate $522 to the animal shelter. The town just acted as an organizer, so the money actually came from the food trucks. That they gave 10% of their profits of that night and donated it directly to the animal shelter. we have lots of great feedback and requests there at the event that we continue to do this, and try to do it once a month. So we're coordinating with the Tennessee and Virginia Food Truck Association to continue to do that. We'll be doing them in this, upcoming September, October, and November. September will be on the 7th. October will be on the 11th, and November is on the 1st. And then coming in the next following year after the winter's over and they're back into their season, we'll be doing that again. And it's just a great way for us to be able to help organizations in our county get some more money flowing in as a donation for them. So on September, we'll be doing the fire department. They'll be up here, they'll probably have a truck, and we'll just continue to do that. We'll also have our community yard sale on Saturday, September 9th. We did do a little bit of planning, so we're requiring the people that will be attending to be registered for their space. In the past, that hasn't been done before, but this way we can just prepare for how many vendors we're gonna have. And we'll have the gravy train food truck be setting up, since it's so early in the morning, starting at 8 a.m. A lot of people want breakfast food, and they sell breakfast food, like strictly, that's all they do. So that'll be a good way for them to make some revenue, because I know a lot of people will be wanting to get some breakfast while they're yard sale shopping. Any questions about events? Okay. So on the website, I did add a new look for the Planning Commission and the Board of Zoning and Appeals. In the past, there was not any type of contact information for that board, so I updated that and got their pictures. So there's a headshot and their contact information with that. So people aren't having to contact town hall to get that information if they need it. I had the opportunity to speak at the Kiwanis Club meeting last week, so I was able to share with them my duties and what the town is doing. And I got a lot of good feedback from that. They were really interested in the kitchen and just kind of interested to see what we're doing out here. And then we learned at the economic development meeting that there is a Tennessee State Museum capital maintenance grant. So that's for museums in the state of Tennessee to get reimbursement for any maintenance that they do on their buildings. So I reached out to the person that's in charge of the grant and wanted to confirm that our cabin would be considered a museum, since we don't actually call it a museum, but it is a historic place that we have put things where people, like programs where people learn about history. And she did recommend that I do fill out that grant, so I'll be working on that. And the minimum is 5,000, and the maximum that we can do is 100,000. So then they're going to do that until the money is exhausted. So, and it has to be projects that are done within this year, and since we're getting the roof fixed, I figured that was a great opportunity for us to take to get refunded for that. So I'll be filling out that application. And that's all.
The website looks better.
Thank you.
At least you have the other ideas when you get an ask for them.
Yes, I have thought about, just while we're talking about it, Lisa has mentioned to me that the walking path needs to be re-gravelled. So I'll be talking to Tony and getting some quotes for gravel, and we'll include that in the application. And if there's anything else that you can think of that might need to be updated, if we're awarded that, that would be a great opportunity for us.
Good deal. Yeah, we snatched that one.
that idea. Good, thank you, Laura. Thank you for following through with that. All right, is that it? All right, next we go to Chief Nick.
Fortunately, this board this month, got 12 tickets, 10 code enforcement, 10 incidents, 3 arrests, 1 outstanding. Right now, it's, guys, babies. That's all they, right, 5 breaks. We assisted with, from the city, the county on several occasions this month. With the flooding, we were out on there with trees down, drainage ditches, kind of planning forth with Tony, trying to logistically plan how we want to fix them and all that. We assisted with the food truck rally. I think it was better than what we expected with all the parking and get people out, the rain. And we have actually had the interviews for the new hire. We have made an offer, and we have not heard from him yet. He works third shift, so as of today, for me, I have heard from him. We've also attended the workshop for the direct process, that we got for the new hire, on how to get payment and stuff back. So myself, David, Timothy, Mindy, we have to manage training on that. And then going back to, I know we're talking about, as far as being involved with the drug task force, we do have the drug funds that we seized this last year. We can actually take that money and pay for that, because the drug seizure, the only thing we can use the money for is drug related. We cannot use it for anything else. So that would be the $2,000 that we can take forward to pay for that.
Okay. Works. Perfect, thank you. All right, thank you for everything you do. All right, municipal court report.
Okay, this is, July 1 to July 31st, and it's the monthly fund breakdown summary. For litigation tax, city court taxes, cases 1375 each, and the total payments were $2,315. Litigation tax is $175.18. Department of Safety fines $57. Municipal training $1425. City SI fees are $400. The net disbursement was $1,668 for reporting revenue. The number of tickets for July was 7 tickets, and that was all for speeding. All right, thank you. Recorder's report. Okay, we've had a lot of storms and a lot of rain in the last couple of weeks, and a lot of damage to our roads. So, we've been making pictures of before and some from after. This is Oak Drive. This is the road that we spent $119,000 on paving and fixing the new bridge and all that. So this is what happened from the storm. I think this was the first storm a few weeks back, and it literally just undercut that road and took the asphalt down through there. And then Bowman Construction came and basically repaired that. We put the guardrails up on a section that was fairly deep on the side. And they started putting the rock down the sides. They just really did an excellent job on fixing that back. Carried the rock on it pretty far too as well. So this is Sun Tree, in the same situation where it's undercutting the road and taking the dirt with it, and it was really not safe at all. So this one's been repaired as well. This is where they covered it all back over on the side. And then he continued with all this rock down where it all happened, and then continued on farther down to the left of that. Okay, this is Cattle Creek. This one has not been addressed yet. We don't have an estimate on what it's gonna cost. But I've asked him to, give us an estimate, and, you can see it looks pretty bad.
Him, Terry, him, Bowman.
No, I'm done with construction.
But it's not as bad as the first time.
Right, yeah, right. Now, we've also reached out to TDEC with this situation here. I have not heard back from them yet, but they were going to try to meet with him. And, because he, there has been a lot of dirt that's been moved around at the top where his house is, to let his house. Also, looks like a couple of buildings have been built there too. Also. So, this is Backus Hensley and Marpleton. This gas line's been exposed, and same thing, as the water's just come through and undercut under the pavement. This one we have the estimate on, Backus Hensley, the estimate's $21,000. Oak Drive, we spent $20,500, and Suntree was $11,000. So, this one's not been completed yet. Now this, when we were riding around today looking at some things, this is where a red oak tree fell. I guess you can see it maybe on the left side. It's kind of dark through there, but that fell, and it fell in the graveyard. Anderson Chapel Road is where this is. Somebody's come through and cut up for firewood, because I understand it's the best firewood you can get, red oak. So we're going to assume that the person that cut all that up is going to come back and get that. But it's turned over headstones, and you can see it there. A lot of headstones have been, damaged. So. And I appreciate Laura putting that together for me. And I just wanted you all to see, because I know everybody had actually been out to see, because we've been spending a lot of money. And you're gonna see it in August.
What do you think about the rock and debris behind the annex?
That was interesting, but like Tony said, for that much rain to fall in that length of time was not surprising, but he was going to try to fix that today.
Wet, so it gets a PC.
Yeah, it was wet, it's still wet. And actually, talking about that, when we were out there, just to give you all a heads up, we had someone come out to look at the roof at the EMS where it's leaking. And it was Ridgeline Construction Company. And Roger met them out there this morning, waited an hour on it, but he did say it's between 8 and 9. We got lost, of course. But anyway, so I saw him up there because we were still going around, looking at everything there. We came down there, and he was working when we came, and when we went back through about 10:30, he had already finished. So he had done some kind of patching on the roof. He also, I think, was going to take care of some issues with the front gutter. Now, the back gutter is going to be replaced by aluminum, and by the end of this week, I think they may start on that. And that's going to be about $1,600. And
I called him twice this afternoon, he never returned my call.
okay.
See what he did.
Yeah, well, we could see him in the vehicle, but if I got out of the parking lot trying to talk to him, it wasn't gonna work. I wasn't climbing the ladder, but to talk to him, but anyway, he was up there, I saw him.
He found the leaks, I know he found them, was working on them.
Okay, the other thing that we noticed, and I wish I had pictures, I should have brought some, because Tiffany had made some. The flooding last week, probably a week ago, Saturday maybe, down in Massachusetts. It looks like the drain tile at Swingle, is way too small for that, to carry the water. It looks like it's probably a 20-inch or 24-inch drain tile. It needs to be probably about a 30-inch. So I've also asked Bowman Construction if they'll give me an estimate on that as well. I think he does excellent work from what I've seen for what he's done on the two roads, Oak Drive and Suntree. So I did ask for them to flood, for something like that to get fixed too, because it was flooding really bad. And I think, Kevin and Tony had cleared that out once, because it was stopped up. We appreciate you doing that, Kevin. Kevin Tony.
Glad to hear it.
So anyway, that's one we want to go ahead and get fixed as soon as we can. The guardrails at Canyon Bridge, we've been, they had to cancel due to rain, so they're gonna reschedule us, and hopefully get that done. I said the back guttering at EMS is gonna be replaced. I started talking about the cabin roof should be this week. They did get the 2 replacement windows in at Town Hall. They look really good. They did a really good job.
Debbie, when I was out there this morning, one of the EMS guys asked me when they gonna get the ventilation system going.
You mean the big fans up top?
Yeah.
They have HVAC downstairs, don't they?
No, for the Bay Area, we've got 3 ventilation fans. I
He's
put that,
talking about the exhaust.
I know,
Yeah.
I was wondering why, were those working at one point, or
No.
have they never worked? And
No.
you just,
Never
it
got
wasn't
around
part
to
of the project?
never got around to it.
It just wasn't part of the,
It may just be simple switches back. They did ask me about that before.
who is, I mean,
I've not called anybody about that. I've been just, focusing on this other stuff.
okay.
So we didn't really budget anything, for, so for, building maintenance, we budgeted $2,500. $1,600 of it's gonna go for the guttering.
And we
So,
exhausted
the
our-
exhaust fans, I had no idea that they weren't working. We didn't have anything budgeted for those.
Now,
So,
remember, I did ask for money for the annex. We cut it all out, remember?
well, I think you asked for a generator.
But that covered 2 or 3 other things too.
Okay, well, the generator was cut out. That was the only thing that was cut out.
Well, it covered the guttering, it covered.
The generator was cut out, I never heard anything about
Yeah,
that.
it covers the work we was gonna do inside on the insulation.
I'm sorry, no.
I don't
But, the generator, and that's what was cut out. There wasn't anything about the exhaust fans or anything
I
like
just had
that.
to close it, yeah.
I'm just saying, right now,
Did we exhaust the ARPA money for that, that we had a lot of?
yeah, this didn't include any ARPA money. The ARPA money was all for renovation and all that, and it pretty much was expended.
Okay, I thought we went
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that, the building maintenance will cover, it's $2,500, that will cover the $1,600 for the, guttering. So it pretty much almost wipes that out.
The electrical may be simple, just get somebody to look at it. It may be simple and cheap.
The what, should
The fans may be simple, they just be a simple switch that's come back.
well, and did you not also want them moved or something down to the lower level?
Do what?
Did you want the exhaust fans also moved
Well,
to
it
the
would
lower, because
be,
you said the controls.
right now, the controls are up on top of the
Right,
mezzanine.
so
It'd be nice
you'll be
if,
moving controls and fixing the fans.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, the housing grant that was approved, was going to be on the agenda this time. I ended up having to take that off in the policies and procedures because I had kind of a discrepancy in how much is going to be administrative charges for First Tennessee Development District. I had a budget amendment that was going to go on as well. There's why there's kind of a mix up in those ordinance numbers because I had to take it off. For the budget, 250,000, 235,000 for the project, and then 15,000 for the grant administration. And they came back and had a number of 14,000 something for the grant administration. So she asked me to just go ahead and pull it off until they got their numbers exactly right. That was fine.
And Wednesday morning, are they still doing the presentation? At courthouse for the checks?
I think it's Thursday night. Is it Thursday morning? Let's see.
I wrote it
I
down.
think I wrote it down. Presentation of the check is Wednesday morning at 9:30.
From that home grant, or the home grant.
They're wanting us
For someone to
to
the county.
actually present with the county, because they apparently got it as well.
County got it,
And
and
they're
town
looking
of Denver got it, so they're gonna do a check presentation at the same time. 9:30. Quarters, I guess that was all. All right.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
There's too much going on.
Now you're up again. Financials.
Okay, so, for July, for the general fund, if what I call liquid cash, we've got about $1,845,000. Our ARPA money, which is LGIP, $720,956.18. That includes the amount for infrastructure for Massachusetts and for $325,000 for school. Our salary endowment's at $132,582. And I've determined since we've got approval to use part of the principal, for the last 2 years, that will more than cover the roof replacement on the cash. Because it's coming in about 25,000, and I think the roof was maybe 19. And then, when we were talking about closing the Bank of Tennessee accounts, we had 2 accounts. We had what they call a swing account, and that was to earn more interest, and they would kind of go back and forth if they had our payment for capital outlay notice taken out of that account. And also that was the account that had originally been set up to take in grant reimbursements for the kitchen. So right now at that bank, there's $94,871. So that would in turn go into Mountain Commerce Bank. And we'll put that probably into the general fund and decide whether or not we want to do another CD. I think there's a bank in Dawson City, this First Horizon, it might be a little bit higher than Mountain Commerce Bank. So we'll go with one of those. We can put probably a couple $100,000 maybe in at LGIP, in case we need to pull it out. But the interest rate is so high, I think we've got to take advantage of it. For the general fund, month of July and year to date will be the same numbers. Our total revenue was $179,482. And our expenditures were $137,462, so our net income was $42,020. Laura kind of went over the revenue for the kitchen. And the drug fund, where we have, I just want to Nick kind of talked about it. We had, in city spending and funds pending, we had $12,210, that had been, seized in the previous fiscal years. So on 2 instances, there was $11,100 and $1,030 that has been awarded to the town that now has come out of seized funds pending. And because of it being in previous fiscal year, that money will have to be counted as revenue for the previous fiscal year. So that's about $12,130 in revenue that will go into the drug fund. So that increases the fund balance. When we remove that out of seized funds pending, it goes into the fund balance of $13,352. We can use, we budgeted, I think, $5,000 in the drug fund to be used for various things. And if we need to pay that $2,000 out of that drug fund, I think that would be fine. And we'll just have to do a budget amendment to move it to another line item. And then there was really no activity in the drug fund for the month of July. And then that brings us to our state shared sales tax. For July, we took in 40,157, which is up from the previous year, 39,328. And then on local option, sales tax, we took in under 2,897 for July, and that was up from the 78,411 that we took in the previous fiscal year.
What do you think explains that?
Just more local option sales taxes being collected.
I mean, just more people spending money.
When it's been online, do they usually pay sales tax?
Yeah, sometimes it can be a timing issue too. Now, I've already gotten in August, amount for local option, and it's at 82,000. So it's a little bit higher than what it was last year.
Okay, all right, well, good. Yeah, food sales tax one, and that does, okay.
That's pretty much all.
All right, motion or a second on the financial report?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second, are there any questions or comments about that financial report prior to voting for approval? None? All right, discuss or call for vote, please.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman McIntosh,
Yes.
Alderman Radford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Cooper.
Yes.
Yes. All right, I think that's it. Are there any announcements? Anyone would like to name?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You know, last month, mentioned the board that I'd love to get Summers Taylor to take a look at Massachusetts. So I forwarded all of you all an email of what they came up with on their own. And they're proposing 2.5 inches of leveling material and then coming back with approximately 1.5 inches of finished material. And they would make one pass each, not have to split it up and have a joint in the middle. They can also dome it in the middle if we should so desire. So I guess the question is, with their, they provided a cost, even though I didn't ask for it, $95,000 to do that section between Jeff Hobson and Mount Earth Crossing. Where do we stand on getting urban utilities or whoever's ramrodding at the county to, what are they doing right now? When do we expect anything from them?
I think Kathy reached out to.
I emailed Jason Foster, he said it would be beginning a couple weeks into August, that he would have the information he believed he needed to know whether or not we were going to be eligible for reimbursement from TDEC. That's the first piece. There was a budgeted amount. I know it wasn't $95,000, the time has gone by. So we're waiting to know about reimbursement. So we aren't ready to make a decision, even if we did ask Summer Sheriff to work on it, or to have Terry Haynes work on it. We're not ready for that until we know if we're gonna get reimbursement.
Well,
So that's what we're waiting on reimbursement.
you know, I think the people that live down there deserve us to move forward with this. I don't think Terry is capable of paving that to the standards that Summers Taylor can provide for us.
Well, then he may not be. He may not be.
But, you know, I think we need to move on this.
Going outside that may be appropriate. I mean, we're not committed to any person or service.
Yes.
But we're just waiting to see about reimbursement.
But-
That's what we're waiting on. Government works slow and I can't fix that. But there will be action taken on Massachusetts. And when is the deadline that we should hear from CBDG?
In the fall.
Yeah, okay, like maybe even
So
October,
October.
and that's the biggest phase in Massachusetts. So,
But we really need to get that done before end of this year, in my opinion.
well.
You know, we promised it in Johnny's tenure, and here we
We
are.
didn't promise it in
Well,
John's tenure.
people
Johnny
complain.
never wanted to do anything.
People's,
about
I know,
Massachusetts.
people's complaint.
We brought it up as a board
Yes.
after we were elected. We're the only ones.
Correct,
Sorry.
it needs to be
That
done.
have been willing
But
to
it needs to
look
be
at it. agree, and unfortunately, it's.
Yeah, and you know, and then when we asked, you know, I said, well, we should be able to tell you something about July the 31st, you know.
Well, we
That's
said
what
it was
I would tell
August,
people.
yeah,
You know, when it's just like,
and I.
you know, you hear it all the time, you hear it, Roger, everybody hears it, you know, and
If I could have a superpower, if I could have a superpower, it would be able to make people do what I want them to do. Which is
But I mean,
give
you know,
me
it's just-
information when I need it.
yeah,
It's frustrating, it's frustrating, especially as soon as we started talking about.
yeah, and you know, and
Which is-
it's,
Yeah.
thing frustrates me is they said July 31st, we should know something. So, you know, I mean, if you talk to them, maybe
I've
just,
sent,
you know, say, well, you know, you
I've
told people,
sent two
31st,
two
we have,
emails, and I'll
you know,
call
yeah.
them. Because they hadn't heard anything. Okay.
You know, the thing that bothers me is we have the money to do it. We've got over 2 million unrestricted dollars in the bank. You know, it's not like we're broke. You know, I just think that we need, that money is for the citizens, they own it. I think we need to move on it. That's my opinion.
All right, any other announcements?
Our second group of auditors will be here Wednesday, Thursday. Planning Commission and BZA will meet on Wednesday, September the 6th, because that's Labor Day week at Monday. And our janitors have resigned, their last week will be the second week of September.
We don't know about it. All right, anything else?
We have a replacement for Danny yet. Have you had a chance to hire anybody?
No, we have not conducted any interviews at this point.
Okay.
We have not.
I'd like to make an announcement if I can.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank y'all for the flag and all the thoughts and prayers, phone calls, visits for TK. I mean, and we had a visitation and a service that it was just unbelievable. And all the people, and I'll say to anybody that the town of Unicorn, we've got a thing here that you can't buy and you can't sell. And people that don't live here, they just fully don't understand what kind of people we are. The love we have for our neighbors and our friends is just something that just cannot be explained. And I want to thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Let's go for it. All in favor?
Is that-